Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's Steve. Welcome to the Little Wood Shop and our Sunday evening blog. Well, hey, we made it outdoors finally. My God, it's not too warm. Obviously, we have the drab on, but it is hunting season out here. It's the middle of the work week. I told you I wasn't going to wait until the weekend to go freeze my tuchus off, so we decided to come out here late week. We got a nice sunny day. But man, you couldn't buy 35 degrees right now if your life depended on it. But nonetheless, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to go get your stock and your material. All right. I told you the main reason we're out here is I'm looking for 3 to 4 inch legs for my tables. My stock is run low. I need to refurbish it a little and get my stock room back up to snuff. So what I do is I go out and I'm looking specifically for leg size. This is a piece of elm, I believe, or elm or ash. I'll come out, and I've told you before, I check all the wood. I want to make sure that it's not punky. The end's a little punky, but that's no big deal. I make sure that I've got a pack with me of some form, just enough to bring me the few necessities that I need. Right now, the camera fits in here, the video recorder rather, and the little backpacking tripod that it's sitting on, so that works out nice. I don't like to have to carry a lot of stuff. I'll take and I'll do little puncture tests. I want to make sure that this stuff, I'm not going to go through the effort of humping it out of the woods, and it's punky as all hell. But this seems to be pretty good material. Well, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to basically, what I come out with, I bring out my calipers. I've got my small folding saw. And what else we got in here? My bag of tricks. Okay, and I've got a small little, you could do a 4-foot, even smaller than this. Just a little tape measure, okay? What I do, as I told you before, I come in, I throw my calipers right on the ends of my logs. We grab a quick gauge. I'll throw it on the tape, and you can pretty much eyeball this stuff too, guys. So I'm looking at 3 1/4 with the bark on, so I'm probably 3, 2 3/4. Same with this one here. This one's a little narrower at the top, but this is basically the lower end of this. So I'll throw my calipers here. Same thing again. I want to make sure that my material has some type of uniformity. Okay, so I'm 2 7/8. I'm not that far off. Great. Well, the other thing I'll do, and this is what really promoted me to come out here and do this today, was I told you I've got leg material in the back room, but I've got so much mismatched stuff that it would look stupid if I went out and, use some of it for certain things. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Sharpie, and I'm going to make sure that if I did grab a specimen that had no bark on it, like this piece here, I'm going to take on the end of it. Maybe I'll put a number 1 or 5 or a letter A or a circle or whatever. I'll put a circle. And then on this one, I'm going to put a circle. Whatever it is you designate, whatever number or letter, I now know that these two with the letter O or 0 on them, they go together. They're a matching set. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to forage around out here. I'm going to try to find me some nice matching sets. The other thing I'm going to strongly suggest, let me reach down and grab it. This is the GPS. We all have them. I'm not even going to get into the details on them. I carry this because we just recently had a big storm up here in the last 2 weeks. Heavy winds. I cannot get over how much damage has been done at a local level in the backwoods. So I'm going to go around today. I'm going to find some really nice blowdowns that are recent. I'm going to mark them on the GPS. I'll load them off the GPS into the computer. I'll save them, and I'll make a little note with the time, not so much the time, but the date that I was out here, and approximately when the tree fell. I'll include a picture I got one that's about 12 feet from me, and that's the other thing up here too. When the winds rip through the mountains, the damage that gets done to the trees is like none other I've seen. We had a microburst come through right behind my house between my neighbors and me. The microburst grabbed this maple, spun it around like a Twizzler, let it go. When it respun, it exploded, and the whole tree just landed on the ground. It was pretty incredible. Same thing, 10 feet from me. But there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of scatter down. I'm going to record that. Now, the other thing I have done is I've come out in the winter. Now, I don't own an ATV or any type of recreational vehicle, but the little flambeau bobsleds that you pull your ice fishing equipment in are perfect for this stuff. You know, you can load your bag in there, put on your snowshoes, and just pull behind your little cart, your little sled there, and you can load it up with material this size all day long. But the only problem is it's got to be sticking up out of the snow. All right, everybody, how you doing? It's Steve. We are back. We're finally inside the warm confines of the shop. Holy smokes, it's a little chilly out there. We'll discuss all this other stuff in just a second, but we went out, we successfully foraged our legs. If I have material that comes off of the same tree, we mark it up with a Sharpie on the cut end, on one cut end. You know, a letter, a number. In the case of that I think it was a piece of elm, I was able to mark the ends so that I know that it all came off of the same tree, it's the same age, and it's going to dry, for the most part, all at the same speed and time. Now, if I go out and I look to, you know, say I'm gonna take a 10-foot piece of material, I'm going to bucket it into 3 36-inch sections with my handsaw or whatever I have. I do like a letter A1, A2, A3 maybe, to represent 1, 2, and 3 pieces. I don't ever worry about running out of, you know, letters or numbers, because if you were to use up all 26 letters of the alphabet, well, now you can double something up. 2 A's, 2 B's, you get the idea. But I would strongly suggest, seriously, I would strongly suggest marking your material, and if you do, maybe have a little book somewheres, write down your letter and number, the day you foraged it, so at least you have an idea as to how old your stock is, and as it'll give you an idea as to how long it's been drying as well, okay? Alright, well, what we see in front of us are golden goodies. These are things that I didn't expect to come up with, alright? Now, this is what happens a lot when you forage. As you're out looking for one thing, you're going to generally find 5 to 10 others. So, this was out of a cedar swamp last year. It's nice and dry. What I love about it is, my God, you can pick it up with one hand. This stuff's really light, and I think what we're going to do with this is the same thing we're going to do with these big, heavy maple logs down here. I'm going to cut donuts. I'm going to cut donuts out of these. We're going to block them into the machine. I'll put blocks around them. We'll screw to our spoiler board. And then what I'm going to do, I'll use a 1/2-inch end mill. I'll plane one side flat, just like I would with my headboard slabs. I'll flip the piece over. We'll plane the other side. Now at that point, I know everything's perfectly flat. And in the case of the cedar, all I'll probably do is just put a little cribbage ring around it. We are coming up on winter here, so cribbage is a really enjoyed game up here. So we'll probably crank out a pile of boards this year, sell them privately, put them in our online store. Now, the other thing I came across, I got this really nice bottom of a piece of yellow birch. Really crazy base of the trunk. This is where the tree would have grown up, but this was down at the bottom near the ground. So this has got to be blocked in. I will run my feeds and speeds a little bit slower because of there's no conformity here. We got highs and lows, and I don't want this getting ripped out of the table. So I'll basically set it up like I would my spoiler board. I'll figure a square area, and I'll go in. I'll start from my high point first, and then I'll work it down until I get it flat like the bottom. No big deal. Now this piece will make oh my goodness, this would make an awesome clock. You could put a cribbage ring around it if you chose, but it's really, and these are the unique pieces that I look for. I love working with this stuff. It is such a challenge to do stuff with. So keep that in mind. These two big logs down here. Yeah, granted people go, Steve, you got a couple maple logs. These are hollow, about 6 inches in diameter, all the way down to the bottom. It looks like a pair of legs down low. I know you can't see them in the camera, but they're, it's got this nice hole. It's got a little bit of spalt on it. The inside is a little punky, and that coincidentally is what happens to a lot of our hardwoods up here. They rot from the inside. You never see it. Down they come, and hopefully it's not on your house or your automobile. All right? Same thing with this one. This is the bottom half of this other piece. This is in the shape of a kidney, the way the break is. This is going to be really, really pretty cool to do something with. Again, I don't know what. I'm thinking that with a couple of these rounds, I can go in with an end mill, I can cut them out, and I could probably set a little plant pot in there maybe. I can always put a cribbage ring around it. However, these need to dry because these were just, they were kind of gifted to me by a charming neighbor of mine. She wanted the log off her front yard from the tree clearing service, so I gladly volunteered to remove it for her. These are big, these are heavy. Please, fellas, don't go out and do these by yourself, all right? Have an extra set of hands. You know, each one of these sections is 150, 180 pounds. This is a 300-pound log all day long, wet. This is an insert to take a little 2-inch clock insert. It's nothing fancy. It's just a really unique little piece of cherry. Little bit of punky rot, but it really worked out nice. I had to steal the insert out of it for another client, but you know, you put a little 2-inch brass or chrome clock in there, and now you get yourself a nice little desktop out of a piece of rotten, half-rotted cherry with some crazy colors, you know. And last, well, when I'm out, this is some of the crazy material I come up with as well. You know, we're able to, this is one of my favorite walking sticks. I carry this thing a lot with me. This was off a piece of rock maple up here. This stuff is just absolutely tough as nails, hard as a rock, and that's probably why they named it that, but don't limit yourself on your ideas and your creativity, folks, really. I don't know exactly what's going to go in these yet, but they are some very, very unique pieces of material. Now, in the event something checks or cracks, or this kidney-shaped log would break in half once I do send it out to my sawmill and have them cut the 2.5 to, I don't know, 2.5, maybe 2.5 inch thick blocks that I want for my rounds. If something breaks and falls apart, well, guess what? I'm going to buck it up, throw it in my wood stove anyways, all right? Because I can assure you that's running right now. By God, it was cold out there. But I wanted to share all this stuff with you. I want you to stop and think that not everything has got to be dimensional in life. Variety is truly the spice of life, fellas, and you know, this stuff can really make some interesting stuff. And again, if you live in a cold part of the United States and you burn wood and something goes wrong, well, hey, you got extra BTUs, so nothing gained, nothing lost, okay? Remember, on the heavy stuff, always bring somebody out with you, preferably somebody younger than you, and you know, have an extra set of hands. Don't go wrenching and hurting your back on this big heavyweight stuff, okay? All right. Well, our foraging was successful. We got a back room full of table legs. I am pumped. I'm excited. We're going to let that stuff dry, and we'll be doing something with it here, you know, in the next few months, all right? All right. Well, from everyone here at the Little Wood Shop, that'd be yours truly, I want to say thank you to my followers and my subscribers for your support as always. You ladies and gentlemen are absolutely incredible as always. And, hey, a belated Happy Veterans Day to all my subscribers who happen to be U.S. vets, or maybe you have some family right now. Well, if you do and they happen to be deployed, well, Godspeed to a safe return home to you and yours, all right? All right, everybody, stay tuned this week to the midweek shout-out. I have no idea what's on the block yet for next week's Sunday evening blog, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? Everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Again, thank you for your support. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.